Now we are ready to start building our new application. Let's do this step by step and first allow our users to post new messages that we will call quacks. In order to allow our users to post some quacks, we will need to create some files, a model, a migration, and a controller. So we could do this directly in our IDE, so by creating those files manually. So we could actually go to our project, app, models, and create here a new file called quack, for example. But Laravel comes with built-in commands. They are really handy for this kind of stuff. So let's go to our terminal. And here, if we run PHP Artisan, you will see all the commands that are available to Laravel. And here, if we go to make, so PHP Artisan make colon and the type of file that you want to create. So here, for example, we could just create a make controller. It will create a new controller for us. And a model. It will create a new model class for us. Or for example, in this case, we also need a migration. So we would just run make migration. It will create a new migration file for us. But let's just deep dive a little bit into our make model command. So it's PHP Artisan make model -- help. So and this is how you will use this command. So basically you need to make model, give any options that you want, and the name of the file, name of the model in this case, okay? So it will also be the name of your class. Just to remember, we want a model, a migration, and a controller. So if we would just run make model with an option -m, it will just create a new migration for us as well. If we run -c, it will run a new it will also create a new controller for us. So, and if we run -r or -r, okay, it indicates that the generated controller should be a resource controller. So a resource controller means it will bring 7 functions. One for listing all the quacks, one for showing one singular quack, one for deleting, one for creating, one for updating, one for storing, and another one for updating it. So in order to do this, let's just run make model -m_r_c and the class name. So let's call it quack. Remember, model names should always be in singular. Okay, let's start it. And as you see, it has created a new model for us, a new migration, and a new controller. Let's go into our editor and see those files. Okay, first of all, our controller should be in app HTTP controllers. There it is, the quack controller with is also a resource controller. So you can see you have the index, create, all the methods are there. Already scaffold, empty, but scaffold for us. Perfect. Next, let's see our model. This is the user model, so the quack model. It just created a new quack model and extended the eloquent model that is imported on top. And last but not least, we have also a migration. You can see, and the migrations are always created with a date up front, so it's today. And the migration is very simple. It just creates an ID and the timestamps, so the created at and updated at timestamps in our table. So for now, let's keep it like it is. And let's move on to our next step, what is creating a road in order to make our controller work. So if we go directly So our roads in Laravel, they are inside roads folder. So if we go into the web file, this file is exposing all the roads for the web. So you can see here are already some roads exposed. If we look into our dashboard, for example, this is when we want to go to our dashboard, this is what it's returning. In this case, it's just an Inertia model or component that is exposing it. So let's create directly underneath the dashboard our new road. Because we created a controller that is a resource, it's very, very easy to connect it to a road. So let's say we want a road resource. Quarks. Let's save this to our dictionary. Okay, perfect. And now our Quark controller. There it is. Okay, perfect. Besides that, we don't want to expose all the roads. We only want to expose the index for listing and the store in order to save. Perfect. We also want to have some middlewares on it. So let's say that we want only authenticated users and only verified requests. Perfect. Let's go to our terminal and have a look at the PHP artisan road list. Okay, here we can see all the roads that we have in our application. For now, don't care about all of them because most of them are just there because of Laravel Breeze. We just want to have a look into these two. So those are the ones that we created. We have created the Quarks index that goes to Quark controller index and the Quarks store that goes to the Quarks controller store. Great. Let's test them out directly in our browser. First of all, let me just boot up our server, artisan serve. Great. There it is. Let's open the web page over here. Okay, perfect. And now, if we go to our controller, Quark controller, we can just to test that everything works great. Let's return a string. Return something like hello world, right? So that's perfect. And now, if we go back to our website and go to the Quarks endpoint, there it is. Great. Great. Let's move this a little bit further. And now that we know that our road is working properly, instead of returning a string, we are gonna return a JavaScript component. I know it sounds weird, but that's exactly what Inertia does. It connects our PHP with our JavaScript. So let's first of all return an Inertia render. Okay. Let me import this class first. Okay, that's it. Should it be? It's imported. Okay. How is our component gonna be called? Quarks index, because we want to show all of them. And the Inertia should be, render. That's what I wanted. Okay. Second parameter is an array of data. And you can see that it's just complaining about that we are here saying in our PHP doc that we return an HTTP response, what is not true anymore because now we are returning an inertia component. So let's just switch this. Okay, we are returning an inertia response. Perfect. So let's see what happens if we go now to our browser. Reload. It complains, and there's an error, it says. Unable to locate the file. Okay, because it's trying to find a file inside resources.js, pages, Quark's index view. That file does not exist. So therefore, what we're gonna do now, we go back to our editor. Okay, in our resources folder, you can see here in pages, we are just gonna create a new file that's gonna be called Quark's index.view. This is a view file, JavaScript. So let's test this out. Template. Let's just hello world from inside view, for example, with inertia. Inertia. Let me write it correctly. Okay, let's go back to our browser and see if that works now. It should not work. Okay, it still complains. It still says it cannot find that file. Why is that? This is just because we are not running our dev server for the front end. Let's open a new tab in the terminal and just go to our folder and just do npm run dev. Okay, this is putting up our development server for the front end. If we now reload our page again, okay, great. This is loading our Vue component. If we open also the inspector, let's see, just go and inspect it. Okay, this is our Vue editor. Isn't that great?